Well, it's evening here, nighttime maybe, around 9:30. The sun goes down earlier and earlier every night, but the weather's still nice and warm. The full moon was a few nights ago, and tonight the moon hasn't risen yet, whatever is left of it, so it's still very, very dark outside. Later, it'll be shining through my bedroom window, like last night. I do still hear some cars on the highway, people coming home late from work or going places, but by 10:30 that completely dies out and it's silent. I think I mentioned in an earlier video that although I'm in a remote area, I'm still close to the highway, which is something that a friend of mine who used to work for the highway system here in California told me to do. He said, always live by a highway. If you're in a snowy area, they plow it first. If there's a problem, you can get out. So I love this piece of property, and I loved it even more when I found out it was right close to the highway. So still a little bit of that, but the overwhelming sound right now are the crickets. Behind me, I have my bath mat that I set out to dry. I guess I'll need to bring that in before I take a shower, and I have some laundry over here. I went to the laundromat, but not everything could go into the dryer, so I put those out this late afternoon, and by tomorrow, even though it's fall, it will be completely dry. So a few weeks ago, I was sitting out here like this. It was dark already, and I had my phone with me for some reason, I guess because I thought, maybe I'd get some more raccoons chattering like I had put up a few weeks ago. And I also had a flashlight. So I was sitting here and I heard this incredible crashing, crunching sound outside down below. The deck is high up, and then down at the bottom of the hill I have a small seasonal creek and two small little ponds. Very small ponds. So I heard this crashing down by the pond, the bigger pond at the bottom, and I heard this splashing sound, and then I heard this really frantic chattering. It was a raccoon, but it was very, very frantic chattering, and then suddenly there was a few more splashes. There was silence. I heard, it sounded like a bobcat barking, and I'm not sure if this was the bobcat, or the bobcat was just barking about this. And now that I know about the bear, I'm wondering if it was the bear, because it was so noisy. Usually I think of the bobcats and the mountain lions as being kind of quiet and stealthy, but this was definitely so noisy. I wasn't sure if I should record the sounds or I should take my flashlight and see if it was a person. So I was telling the story the next day to my handyman, who was very soft-hearted, and we went down there and took a look and saw if we could see some any mashed down branches or footprints or paw prints or whatever, and there might have been a couple that were that way, but it was very, very not definitive. I had part of it actually on the phone because I'd started recording it, and you could, in listening to it again, you could hear the splashes and all those sounds. So he got nervous and said, it's dangerous out here at night, and you don't want animals coming after your animals, attacking other animals, and it's just sad, it's terrible. His suggestion was to put some motion detector lights back there, so if another predator came by, the motion detector light would scare them away and give the other animal a chance to escape. I said, I do not want motion detector lights. We're not scaring away predators. We're not doing anything of the sorts. There are two reasons for that. Number one, I'm aware of what the dangers are out here, and they are far less intimidating than the two-legged predators you find in more populated areas, number one. And I also know at this point when to be outside, when not to be outside, and not to be wandering the property or walking down the road in the dark. So avoidance is the first thing of danger, avoidance of danger. Second thing is that there is a cycle of life. There's a cycle of life, and part of my moving out here was to respect that cycle of life, to respect animals, the birds, the squirrels. I've kept this place pretty wild. I took down a lot of debris and poison oak and stuff like that was definitely a fire hazard. But other than that, you know, we have the watering holes here, the little ponds. Right behind me, there is thousands of acres of forest land, and you know, there's plenty of room for all of that, and there's plenty of room for all of us. And I really felt that we just need to leave nature alone. Well, a few weeks after that, the handyman came up with these amazing logs. Looked like there's something from a campground. I don't know what, these huge logs with other logs that had notches in them, and you could put the big log in the other log. And I posted something on the community page about those, but there's two of them kind of in an L shape by this area that I like to sit, and then there's two more by the little pond at the end where that whole escapade took care of. So I said, yeah, that sounds great. He put them down there. The guy is an ox. He put them down there by himself. He says it's all about leverage. Fine. But in spite of the fact I did not want any motion lights, he put a motion light there. So the first night, you know, he came over, we walked down there, and he said, you know, you can come down here now, the motion lights are on, and they'll go on, scare off predators. And I said, I'm not coming down here by myself. I don't care how many motion lights there are at night. But fine, you want to leave the motion light up, we'll leave the motion light up, no problem. So as a result, every time something passes by there, the motion light goes off, and it shines into my bedroom. And I get all nervous, and I jump up, and I don't see anything there, and I don't hear anything. It's becoming quite a problem. So if I look tired, I am tired. Motion light wakes me up all the time, and I didn't put my curtains back up on the window yet because I kind of like having it all open like that. So I'm either going to have to turn off the motion lights down there or get used to it. I am deeply appreciative of my neighbors here and of my handyman, everyone here who wants to keep me safe and who wants to do what they can do to make this a wonderful place for me to live. But I am very conflicted right now about those lights, and I don't know if they're preventing predators or whatever. It's a small pool of light, and there's, as I say, thousands of acres for them to do what they want to do, but I guess I'm just going to have to think that one through. There is a second motion light he put up by a second bench, and that one's not going off. I think it's not turned on. And he said, I don't think it's turned on. I'm going to have to go turn it on, but I have not reminded him of that. So I'm curious what you think about the motion light situation. I agree that there has to be some sort of security here, but I don't know. The motion light doesn't seem to be doing much for me except making me nervous, more nervous than I was before. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about letting nature do its course? What are your thoughts about motion lights? Should I turn them both off? Should I keep them both on? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my evening here. I have a lovely cup of tea, and I hope you're enjoying these wonderful fall days. Thank you so much for listening to me rant and rave. And good night.